Hey, I didn't know you guys were here. Welcome to the shop. My name's Tom. I'm a full-time eBay reseller, and I'm a stay-at-home dad for 5 kids. All right, so here's what we sold. This is Saturday. I had some of this stuff is from a couple of days ago, but it just didn't ship because I have 2-day handling time. This is a pea coat. It sold super cheap, $13.25 plus shipping. I paid $1 for it. It's got that big stain on it, and so I paid $1 for it at a thrift store. This is a legit like vintage navy pea coat, and so it's worth something to somebody. And it was $1. It was $1 at a yard sale. I think I just said thrift store. There was a whole bunch of clothes, and all the clothes on hangers were $1. And I was like, even these, and there were 2 of these pea coats. One of them had a button like torn off, like where the button attached was a hole. And that one sold for more and sold faster. This one has a stain, and it sold for less and slower. But at $1, $13 plus shipping, I'm still making money. Not a ton. I'd hope they would go better. Let's stop talking about it. Tommy Bahama, I picked this up for $1 the other day. It has a drink recipe in the lid because it's Tommy Bahama. Sold for $13.50 free shipping. That'll go in a little box, be easy peasy. This is Evelyn's first ever flip, and it is in the house still because I have a little mess in the house where I'm trying to get all of my stuff that I've listed in the house but didn't necessarily inventory. Make sure it gets inventoried before it gets out here because then it'll be lost. Sold. We paid $2.59. It sold for $15.99 plus shipping. So that's pretty awesome for a 3-year-old. She wanted to get it. She played with it. She thought it was super fun. And then I was like, baby, you don't need a toy every time we come into Goodwill. You just got something else at a different place. No, we're not buying it. We're not buying. Can we ship it? And I'm like, okay, I'll look. And it was worth buying to sell. And I was like, we're not keeping it. We're buying it and shipping it. And she said, okay. And so that it was her idea to buy it, to ship it. That's what she calls it when we're flipping stuff. Can we keep it or can we ship it? This, I want to say I paid $9 a piece. I don't remember what I paid for these. Maybe 10 for a handful of these Peoria Motorcycle Club vintage, made in the US, but they're mechanics like button shirts, and they're personalized Bernie. But I knew they would have appeal. This one's, I've had this listed for maybe 2 weeks, sold for $25 plus shipping. Buyers all in at $32 on that. So that's, and it's going to Georgia, and I thought maybe it would go to Arizona because there's a Peoria in Arizona as well. I don't think there's a Peoria in Georgia. I don't know. I don't think it matters. I think that the person bought it because it's vintage motorcycle and it's cool. Even in spite of it being if it didn't say Peoria Motorcycle Club, that shirt would be a rag. But because it says Motorcycle Club and it's older, it's worth $32 to somebody. This How to Train Your Dragon double-headed barf and belch. And I think we paid $1.99 for him, and he sold for $26 free shipping. This, I told you guys, was like a $20 item when I picked it up. They're super common. They say 1985 on them, but no matter when it was manufactured, it's going to say 1985. So this could be 10, 15 years old and still say 1985. Carousel is the name on them, and they're plentiful, but it's an iconic look. So somebody who just wants a shelf piece, somebody who's not a high-end like coin-op collector is gonna want something like this. It's just a cool thing. This is just a fun piece. It isn't a high-end collectible like some of these. Like this is obviously mimicking a 50s gumball machine, and there is a cast iron pedestal that it would screw onto, and if you have that makes it like a $80 or $90 piece, but then it's really hard to ship. This will be pretty simple to ship. I won't even take it apart. I'll just bubble wrap the crap out of it and put it in an oversized box. World of Outlaws 1993 is like funny car, not NASCAR, but car racing. I picked that hat up for $1 at a thrift store. sold for $16.99. It was listed on October 5th because I couldn't find it, so I had to go back and look at when it was listed and then look at what else was listed on that same day and then look through those boxes, and I did eventually find it. There was a system. A lot of people who are not vintage video game people don't know that there was a system before the Sega Genesis. Like, Sega Genesis competes with Super Nintendo, and people are familiar with the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo. Everybody knows the Sega Genesis with like Sonic the Hedgehog, but there was a Sega competitor to the 8-bit Nintendo, and it was called the Master System. And this is the manual for the Master System. I literally paid nothing for this. My buddy sold me a bunch of video game stuff, and he's like, if you want any of those manuals and stuff, you can have them too. It's weird looking box, the Master System. This doesn't have a good color picture. I'll put up a picture. If you find a Master System, they're fairly rare because they sucked. They didn't suck. They didn't sell well. It's equal. It's on par with a Nintendo as far as cool games, gameplay. The controller looks identical, so it's a cool thing, but it's not as nostalgic because not as many people had it. There are less games because there are like 700 games. Officially licensed games, there's somewhere short of just short of 700 games for the regular Nintendo. That game, I don't know the number on that one. I would guess it's probably short of 250. So it's just not it's not as big a deal, but that makes it rarer, which makes it more valuable, but then less people want it because it's less nostalgic. It's kind of a balance thing. Anyway, if you find the system, it's worth like $80, and a lot of people don't even know that it exists. And a regular Nintendo is maybe $50 if it's just the loose system that works. Adams, number 5, Golf Head. I bought a bunch of Golf Head covers, listed them all for $10. I bought like 25 for a grand total of like $8. There were like 4 grocery bags that were $2 a piece. And I pulled them all out. I think I only ended up listing 10 because they were like gross. Like this would have been mouse chewed, or like it would have had a leather patch here and you touch the leather and it flakes off. And so I just ended up throwing a bunch of them away because I wasn't deep into it. I didn't need to make much money, and I don't want to sell trash. You know, I don't mind selling stuff that's broken that still has a value, but I'm not going to sell trash that's super common. It sold for $9.99, free shipping. So I mean, it'll cost me $4 to ship. I'm not making a ton. Especially, but I have like 10 of them listed. So that $100 minus $40 shipping, I'm still making $60 on $6 or $8 investment, but it's really long tail. It'll pick up as spring starts to spring, and it's super nice outside today, late February 2023. But I mean, it's crisp, but we're getting there. Spider-Man. Vintage Spider-Man shirts tend to do well. This is, unfortunately, I think it's a boy's size. It's a cut tag, so it doesn't tell you what size it is. But this Mad Engine Marvel tag is a desirable one, and Spider-Man is much more collectible. This one's from 2002 and has a little pinhole in it, and I know that I put flawed as is in the title because it was flawed and I'm selling it as is. So it sold for $16.99. So imagine that. I mean, this is a boy's size flawed Mad Engine 2002 Spider-Man. If this was a men's size in nice shape, this would be a $40 or $50 t-shirt. Fits in the Tantrum, who have a great song where they whistle. All it is a shirt with Fits in the Tantrum screen printed on the front of it. And the buyer paid $10 plus shipping for it. I got it, I think I got it as a giveaway on Whatnot. I know I got it from Whatnot, and I was disappointed when it showed up. Is that everything's? It's not. Ooh, where did that go? Ruh-roh. It fell on the floor, and it's tiny. Hello! That is the helmet from a Visionary 1987 Hasbro toy. G.I. Joes, only they're significantly rarer, much like the Master System. They weren't as popular in their own time, so they're not as known now, but that makes them rarer, but it makes them less nostalgic. These are when you find these, they're worth more than the average G.I. Joe because there's just less of them out there. This I got when I got from Hybid. I bought a box that was just random toys, and it was like some Fisher Price stuff and Mork from Ork and a group of Black Star stuff and this head that I figured out what it was from Google Lens. And then there's a group that I like to use called, on Facebook. You take one picture and you put it up, and 2 minutes later they tell you exactly what it is. It's called Action Figure Identification. Highly recommend those guys. It almost fell into the oblivion. Ooh, I need to put this in a package before it disappears. Buyer paid $11, free shipping for that. I got some marker on my finger. 2 more. This is Brazilians Plus Self Tanner Auto Bronzant by Tarte Skincare. And I don't know if Tarte means the same thing to these people as I think of it, but it is what it is. It's brand new lotion that costs $40 new. Resale value is in the low 30s. I listed it for 30 even, got an offer for 27, free shipping. And I had it for like a day and a half. You guys saw me pick it up, and I'm still yet to make the short on picking it up. But I did record separately video to make a short for that thing. And the only other thing is these boots that Levi picked up. Paid $10. They sold, I had them listed for $79, and then I put them on sale for $75. And then I got an offer for $50, and I countered at $62, and the buyer bought them. That's free shipping, so their buyer's all in at $67 because of sales tax. And so we'll make $40 at least on that $10 investment. So that's everything that's going out today. We have a Facebook Marketplace pickup, and we're all going as a family, and then we're all going to the Goodwill together before we go grocery shopping. So we should have a pretty fun Saturday, I would think. All right, well, that was fun. And I got a huge bag of hats. This one wasn't part of the deal, so I paid $20 for all of these. I asked her to throw this one in for 10 bucks. She was reluctant to sell it, but I figure where I'm at with those, I'm gonna do really well on this, enough to kind of sweeten the pot on the rest of the hats for it. And we're coming back in a couple minutes with some more cash because she had some stuff in the garage that she wanted to get rid of. So she has a old railroad track that's worth probably $150, and she showed it to me, and I was like, I don't know what you want for it. I don't know much about it. And she's like, well, you can have it for 25 bucks. And I'm like, well, I can't hardly turn it down for that. All right, we got the whole fam going into Goodwill today. Even Mrs. Mod and Pop Thrift. She's not looking. So let's see what happens.
That's because I don't know how to drive it.
Right. Movies and books and stuff. Brand new in the box shoes. I bet they're priced accordingly to the, like, what they would be at the store.
They're priced $30.
Yeah.
Really?
So that's the same price you'd buy them at a place where you could return them. This is really heavy for what it is. Pretty neat. Judah found a typewriter. It's probably $6. Electric. That's neat. Okay, Judah is buying this for $6.50 because I told him it's going to be a pain in the butt to ship and test, but he's going to take care of it. So we'll see. Okay. Then we'll buy them all.
Really?
So these are $20 a piece. Frozen, Star Wars, and Marvel. So there's only one sold on that stuff, and it is those things. Because there's so many of them here, I suspect that there were so many of them made and they didn't sell, that either the market is already saturated or it's going to be very soon. And they're just, it's not the kind of thing that you're going to make a ton of money on. This is a bunch of Panasonic phones, and they look new. $4.96. I think we're just gonna throw some of those in the cart and see. We're not gonna buy that. It's probably supposed to be in this bag, and we're gonna leave that stuff in the bag. Judah heating up. $9 Midland. I need to look it up, but chances are very good that a vintage CB is worth getting. Chase's Ultimate Rescue Vehicle. I'm gonna say pass on Chase's Ultimate Rescue Vehicle. Levi's looking through some plushes. I don't know, not that I recognize. That is a cool Goofy, but he's naked. Little Goofy Bopper. Looks vintage. World of Wonder. We'll look at it. So Levi found these. I suspect they look like 90s Toy Biz X-Men series stuff to me, but I don't know. 93
It's kind of what I suspected.
Hasbro. 95 Hasbro. But I mean, I think they'd be $1.99 as unmarked toys. I don't think they're worth that. 94 Marvel. So that one is definitely, somebody's going to be like, you're an idiot. I can't believe you don't know who that is. But I don't have any idea who that is. These might be something. Easy Shaper. These are just the bands. And they're $3.79. Desiree found some Jerry.
They cut out the tag.
That's okay.
There's no
That's a
date
cut
on
tag.
it,
It's a
and
Jerry
double
Lee.
stitch.
It's Jerry Lee Mickey Unlimited Vintage. That's a 15 plus shipping. Good get. For what? $4.99? $2.99 for sure. No. Three chests. And are all the pieces there?
It's taped together and now you can paper.
Man,
But the box is kind of smithereens.
it's $3. It feels heavy, like they are all there. Let me look, and if they're all there, then it's probably a get. Okay, so this is $4.89, I think. Isn't that what it says? Yeah, $5. There's a handful of phones in here. I can't see enough to comp it well, but at $5, I'm almost positive that's it. So we're gonna get that without comping it. Easy Shaper bands. Let's see. These, there's one sold listing for two of the black ones. These don't exist on eBay right now. If I went into Terapeak, but the two black ones sold for $35, so at $3, we're gonna give that a shot. These mom's buying. This is just kind of a, you don't even have to comp it kind of thing. These couple of hats, we're paying $2.59 for that one, new with tag. And this one, Diodario strings, at $2.59 is a definite get, in my opinion. These are clothes that mom's getting. So we just need to comp. Judah's getting this, and he's going to test it and ship it.
There's this.
And then this and this. And this we're going to get, because even if the pieces aren't all there, we should be able to sell the pieces.
And I think the board's there too.
The board is definitely there. The box is junk. So a TV, which is a neat, I like buying these little TVs, and I don't know why. So the TV at $5 has sold comps for $9.99. So then we turn to Judah's other find, which is this CB, and I'm a lot more confident about this. So this one is $10, and there's 14 listed and only one sold for $20. That is a no for sure.
Really?
Yes.
It makes cookie.
Does it make Mickey Mouse and sing? Oh, well then.
It makes, oh boy.
Oh boy, Mickey Mouse. Well, that's different. That's a different story entirely. Villaware.
So this is a cookie baker, and listed are crazy. Solds are about $2, 20, not 2.
Where's Caleb? Oh.
And so I think this might be a good pickup.
So we could list it for 30, and it should sell because while there are 10 listed, almost all of the 10 listed are like $75 and higher. And so if you think about the sell-through rate on under $50, it's much higher. Because, I mean, sell-through rate is the number listed against the number sold. But if we can say, well, nobody's going to buy that for $100, and we just discount the 4 that are listed for $100. That's 100% sell-through rate, even at like $60. But you could buy it for 30 plus shipping. But as soon as that one sells, then the average price is going up. It's definitely a get at $4 or $5. But you just kind of got to run numbers and see what's available when you list it and what it's selling for. When there's only 10 listed and 6 sold, that's pretty good, especially when you consider a lot of those are crazy numbers. Okay, so this is interesting. This is the machine that those bands came off of, and they're selling it separately with a few bands on it for $7.95. I would be tempted to peel these bands and the clips, because you know somebody's lost the clips, off and redonate the bench, but I don't think it's worth all of that. So these are 1993 lamb chop. Oh, that is $2.40 all by itself, and that is $1.20. And this is probably comparable, but I don't know that I would ever get around to listing sheets. I guess I'm going to suck it up and just deal with how much it sucks to list them, because with the whole set like that, the pillowcase, the top sheet, and the fitted sheet, that's a $40 set, and it's probably at 100% sell-through rate. So these are the hats: Gander Mountain, NRA, and then it's just a bunch of not notable camo hats. Leopold, it says America's Optic Authority, so I wonder if it's scopes. That could be a good one. I don't know. Big River Game Calls are good game calls. I don't know if that makes this hat good, but it's made in the US. PCAP. Premier is, but there's 2 different ones with different, and Fastenal. So those are the camo. Is K-Brands, NRA. I haven't traditionally done really well with NRA stuff, and this, even though it's K-Brands, is not made in the US. And Stagway Brewing Company, Alaska, I may not be able to sell that one. It may have to stay in the family. These are really good ones. Caterpillar Camo, new with tag, Mossy Oak. Caterpillar Electronics with that big D8 on it. And then this Caterpillar Diesel Power. This wasn't part of the original deal. I gave her $10 for this hat all by itself. But I did that realizing that I spent way not enough money on these hats. 50 cents a piece is too good a deal. So I was like, I like that one. And if it was 50 cents, I'd be elated. But she had it in a not for sale pile. And I was like, I really like that one. I could give you $10. And then I'm $30 into 41 hats instead of $20 into 40 hats. And that, I don't mind paying up for one that's really cool if I am really almost paying nothing for the rest. And then these are new with tag, so I'll take these Walmart $6 tags off of them, and there's 2 or 3 of those. There's 2 of that one. This is got the flap, ear flap thing. And then this is the same as that, but it's not new with tag. And then there's the camo bucket hat. And this one, which is just crazy. This is a $50, $60 hat for sure. I'll probably sell it eventually, but I'm going to wear it today. And then this one that is Chicago Cubs. WHOI is the local Peoria TV station. So I suspect this is probably a stadium giveaway, maybe from the 80s when the Cubs owned our local baseball team. Now they're owned by the Cardinals. Going there and being nice to that lady and telling her I'll resell some of these hats, and I collect a lot of hats. So if you have other stuff you're selling, I'm always buying stuff. She showed me this, which is a jack for lifting up train cars, and I got it real cheap. She's like, I just want it gone. I had it listed on Facebook Marketplace and I got no interest at all. So if it's any interest to you, give me $25 for it. And I think if I tried to sell it, I think it would sell for $150 plus shipping. But shipping would be astronomical because it's probably 80 pounds. It's heavy. Okay, so I don't think I told you guys I'm at a kid's birthday party. So my kids are hanging out and Evelyn's on the trampoline by herself. So I don't think I told you guys that. the appeal that I filed for the Iron Maiden tape that was received on the USPS website but wasn't received on the eBay tracking number. I filed an appeal and they sided with me, and so they gave the guy his money back, but I didn't get a ding on my account. And then I said, oh man, we have this jacket that also looks like it was lost in transit. And the guy opened a case, and before I could even respond to the case, 20 minutes later, they said, hey, this is our fault. Evidently, it did make it to the distribution center, but it didn't look like it on the tracking number to me. But they said they had it, and it was their fault it was lost, and so they reimbursed the guy, and no effect on my account for that one too. So that's good. Doing international shipping can be a little hairy, a little scary, a little not fun because there's so many unknowns, but I have never had a big problem. Normally it ships to the eBay distribution center quick, and then it's their problem. And I've never had a dispute that wasn't something that eBay handled themselves.